Hola, my beautiful people. And look at this. I actually have like matches. Yeah. I bought a box of matches that hopefully are good matches. Unlike the other ones that I have a history with. They never stay lit long enough to light my sage. So we're going to try this and see if we can get it to work. And that way we can get a Happy Thursday smudge in. So there you go. Even if it's just metaphoric or digital for you. Always just makes me think about being quiet and, well, hello. And just being quiet and in the moment and just listening for any kind of cool message that might come through. So, the winter season is coming up. And, is it really 11/11? Oh, how cool. I thought it was 10. Um, but that is really, really cool. Um, I am just chilling and enjoying my day. It's kind of like you make a to-do list and then you realize that you don't do anything that's on your to-do list. That's okay. There were other things that I guess I needed to do instead, and that happened. And well, and all that matters is that right now, at this given moment, we are here together and doing a reading. And I carry my angels and ancestors in this little furry bag here. It's one of those Ipsy makeup bags, but I like that bag. And the deck just fits in there really super nicely. Yeah, because one of my dogs has found a little fetish about he likes to chew some of my decks. Yeah, he's like pulled them out of a box. And yeah. So let's see. Give me one more for this first row. Okay, well, we got a whole bunch more. I think that's what we're going to roll with. And so I got a handful of cards here, and I've got this really neat little, and I'll show it to you, really neat little stand for reading, or standing your cards. And they fit 3 of them really pretty nicely. So we're going to go for 3 cards here. Sometimes when you read them in a group, it makes it a little bit easier to understand what is happening in that energy. And so that's why, I wanted to kind of show it to you like this. Here, so we are starting out, the energy is the Hermit. Our obstacle is Mother Earth. And then our help is the Water Guardian. So the Hermit is talking about going into a recharge where you sit down, or whatever you do to recharge, you need to get back into that groove of recharging. And I'm going to say, when I look at that next to Mother Earth, about feeling loved and comforted and then connecting with your emotions, what I'm kind of picking up in here is that we've been in a mode of recharging and rejuvenation, nurturing ourselves. And I get this, like, Mother Earth hears, and Mama's been really, really loving on you and taking care of you. And now it's almost this time for you to step forward with this Water Guardian. Water is being very fluid and moving. We don't want stagnant water. We want water that moves. So this is a movement. And this is about you coming into a realization of where you are and what you're doing. And what you're doing, please don't take that as a negative. It's just a perspective. It is putting your life into perspective of what you're doing, and is it where you want to be. So The animal guardian, I really like the animal guardian because the animal guardian is pure about instincts. And instincts come in two folds. They're going to come where we're going to have instincts. Well, let me do it like that. We're going to have instincts that are intrinsic, that we like breathing. Everybody you know how to breathe. And you're like, yeah, I have an instinct to breathe. Well, of course we have an instinct to breathe, So those are kind of like givens. But we also, it's kind of like when you make pancakes and they are really fluffy and you've never made pancakes before, but you knew that if you did particular things, it would create a fluffiness. So like the way you beat an egg or whatever. So there are some things that are intrinsic as in that you just know how to do. They just happen. And then we can have these intrinsics also that are like, I just knew how to do it. I don't know how. But what we're looking at, and these are instincts. And so what we're looking at on this card, this animal guardian, what we're looking at in here is that it is a good time for you to go with your instincts. So if your instincts rumble in your gut, then you probably want to pay attention to what your gut's doing when you're in a position that would require, or really kind of is necessary for you to utilize instincts. What does your gut tell you? If your heart flutters when things happen, then you might want to consider something when your heart flutters. What's going on at that given moment, because that might have a big story to why you're feeling the way that you do. Now you'll see that this high priest is in an upside down position. Hello everybody that's come in. Do me a really big favor and love this video. And love the video and comment where you're watching from or something cool, just so that it gets in the algorithm. But this intent and create is kind of like standing in the middle of the kitchen, and you have all of these wonderful cooking devices to use, and then you open up the refrigerator, and the refrigerator is so full of any kind of food that you can think of. But you're so overwhelmed that you have no idea of what you want to make to eat. So when I'm looking at this intend and create upside down, it's like being overwhelmed. You have no clue of where you want to start, what you want to make, where you even like, I don't even know what I want to do. Do I even really want to cook, or do I want to take out? And I'm over here going, girl, you have a whole freezer full to choose from. And this is, an instance about opportunities, and you're still just overwhelmed about all of this stuff that you don't know where to start. And that's where the shapeshifter upside down is reinforcing this, going, okay, so now you're in this place where you're super stuck. You have no idea of what you want to do, where you want to go with this. And it might be just as easier to order takeout, but your instincts are going to kick in, and pay attention to your instincts. Sometimes we just, we kind of think, oh, it's my ego. And I was like, egos really aren't all that bad. We have this idea that, oh, I'm so ego-filled as a human that all I think of is myself. Well, that's also a little bit of some protection guardian there, is an ego-driven. Our ego often will tell us what has been, or demonstrate to us what has been good and what has not been good for us. All right, so what is coming up out of this realization that you've been kind of like not paying attention to the outside world and kind of focusing more on, and I'm going to say feeding instant gratification, from the beginning of the reading. is talking about being in that recharge and rejuvenating and, just kind of being in your little own world in essence. And now you're going to have to step out. Your instincts are kicking in, and it's time for you to step out and pivot into a new direction. Now, when I'm looking at this broken arrow, and this is about having to accept peace. And then the protection guardian dropping your shield. So I'm going to say it more like this. And this came up in a reading that I did for somebody, and I was talking to them about removing yourself from the equation. That sometimes that you can be in a place that you're literally in a battle. Maybe not fist fighting, but you're literally at a crossroads. There is no agreement from one side to the other side. There's zero agreement. Both sides are frustrated. And this reading here is saying sometimes you need to take yourself out of that equation. That it's really not about you. You're really not a major factor in the end result. And you're like, what? And I'm like, but you're a catalyst for keeping it going. Some things will just kind of peacefully die away on its own. And I'm not meaning that like literally dying, but metaphorically dying, okay? So we're not talking about people per se, but situations. That they'll just die away on their own and people move on. And this is about you moving on from it. You have to take yourself out of that equation. You're no longer a necessary factor. You're just a catalyst, kind of like that just keeps fueling it or keeps letting it burn or simmer or, whatever it's doing. Some things simmer, some things are on full force, burn, flaming up fire, metaphorically speaking. So let's see if there is an ending message to this, because I'm kind of like, all right, so basically I gotta move on. Yeah, basically you gotta move on. And there we go. Okay, so I'll just kind of set that up so you can see as it's being set up. Oh, that's funny. Because I was like, I gotta move on. And this is like, yeah, you gotta move on. And I was like, this is going to probably take at least a month of moving on or moving forward, disconnecting, taking yourself out of that equation. The winter card is that obstacle, and this is kind of like where somebody's going to say this is our ego, but this is going to be a time that you disconnect and from what has made you feel nurtured or safe, and you focus on what is empowering you. What I want you to really note here is that very last card on this row is about being the light upside down. So I'm going to say it like this. Sometimes it's better to be in the shadows. Sometimes it is better for you to be behind the scenes. Sometimes it is better for you to fly under the radar. And that's what this card is talking about. It's talking about flying underneath the radar. For that month, that's more of a regrouping and a focusing situation. And there's people going, oh my God, but I wanted to do all of this stuff for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, it doesn't mean you can't do that stuff for Thanksgiving. This just probably means you need to fly under the radar, be, a little bit on the cool, calm, and collect aspect of it. And so this is our last line here. And so I've got the seer card, and the seer card is always about looking beyond where you are. And so it's like we have an instant gratification when we want to look just at for what's going to happen today. I need to know, am I going to get that letter from Ed McMahon, if he's even the one doing it, I don't know, that states that I won the sweepstakes. Am I going to get it today? I'm not looking at the full picture of it. I'm not looking at it from all different aspects. I'm only looking at instant gratification. So this card is talking about looking at things beyond your instant gratification. Whoops. Bear with me. That's the thing about doing things live. You always got a little bit of a mishap. So when I'm looking at this card, I'm like, man, okay, you can't focus on if Ed McMahon's coming to your house today. I don't know. You have to look at the greater meaning behind it and the perspectives that are with it. So this is about looking beyond just the fact that you're asked to kind of chill out, take yourself out of the equation, remove yourself from as a stimulus and see what happens, and we're kind of like, but okay, no, you need to do this. It's really important that you do this because there's a twofold thing here. Part of this has been holding you back where you feel obligated, and that obligation is like you don't owe anybody anything. There was a mutual agreement for X, Y, and Z, and you fulfilled your end of it. If anything, somebody owes you because they didn't always have your best interest at heart. That is one of the main reasons that you need to back out of that situation. This right over here, what I said, taking yourself out of the equation. And then when I look at this card is about the heart guardian. And I'm going to say that you spent quite a while dogging yourself as if you were the blame of everything that's going wrong. So it's like you open up the news and you see that something was bombed on the Gaza Strip, and somehow that you were involved, or your energy, your luck, whatever, somehow you caused that to happen. Okay. Everything in the world that's going on that's negative vibration isn't dependent on you. But in essence, all of the negative things that are going on in the world are dependent on our fear and our lower vibration. So when I'm looking at this card and it's talking about, love and let yourself be loved, this is about removing yourself from the fear factor. You're not owned by fear. You choose fear. You choose to imbibe on it. And we can also choose to imbibe on love, as we'll see right over here. And this states, love and let yourself be loved. You're not the reason that Gaza's falling apart. We're not the reason that there's war in the Ukraine or that there's all sorts of negative things going on all over the world. I just don't even want to, imbibe on that. But what I am responsible for and what you are responsible for is to love and let ourselves be loved. Love is a synergistic. It cannot be one way because love is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. So it's always coming and going, meaning in synergy that we give and we receive. We give and receive just like we do when we breathe air. We give and we receive. We give carbon dioxide. Hey, that takes care of our plants, right? And our trees. And then we breathe in oxygen, O2, and that helps keep our bodies healthy. So it's a synergistic effect. Love is synergistic. So give love and be open to receive love. And if you're not receiving that love, it is okay to shake the dust off your shoes and move forward. So peace, love, and harmony. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Do me a great big favor. Love this video. Moves it up in the algorithm. And then Facebook doesn't charge me so much. And then also comment something cool, like where you're watching from, or yeah, anything groovy. Yeah, where you're watching from, what you'd like to know, what kind of readings you like, what's your favorite deck, what's your favorite card, you know, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream. Today mine is chocolate, but yesterday it was cookies and cream. Have a great day.